Hey guys, welcome to Random Wrestling Talk, episode number 20. Here today to discuss about a couple of stories that have taken place, also going over that atomic bomb that MJF cut last night. I'm going to talk a little more about that. It looks like we got one person in the on the live stream right now. Now two. Hey, what do you know? Oh man. Uh damn. Last night was fucking awesome, wasn't it? I mean, Dynamite crushed it. They freaking killed it. They had a really good show tonight. Or last night, I should say. Tonight. Um but yeah, this was actually a rather entertaining promo by MJF. I honestly believe, and a lot of wrestling critics believe, that this segment has made MJF into a superstar, hands down, without question. Um, but man, oh man, I have to say that I enjoyed last night's rant by MJF. One of the best promos I've ever heard in my life, too. Um, I forgot to mention something that was actually rather important. I was gonna say that if this wasn't scripted at all and this is all legit, why this could benefit both WWE fans and AEW in a way. The reason being is because WWE would be picking up a huge name like MJF after a huge atomic bomb promo like what he cut last night. I mean, there was it was shocking how amazing this promo was. And he tore them the fuck apart with that promo. Anyway, this might be a very quick live stream today cuz doesn't seem like too many people showed up for Thursday's episode. Um so I don't know how long this is going to be or whatnot, but it's going to depend on you guys and whether or not you want to chat with me, because that's what this is all about, is communication and just having a conversation. But yeah, let's go into some stuff here about the show. Well, not about the show, but overall some news. I have a little bit of info on WWE as well. It's not just going to be about MJF's little atomic bomb he threw on everybody uh last night. But let's go over a couple of things. Shit. Okay, here we go. Stephanie McMahon, some news about her. She being believed that she's not capable or suitable enough for her position as an executive role in the company anymore. Honestly, I think that's Nick Khan's own viewpoint on that. And hey, whoever's in right now, could you send a comment in the chat just to let me know that I'm receiving comments in the chat? I'd greatly appreciate it. I think it's Matt 87 Eagle. If it is you, man, please say something. But yeah, Stephanie McMahon is actually no longer a possibility of coming back from her hiatus. She may be done with WWE altogether. I don't know how this is a good or a bad thing, but honestly, I think she and everyone else in the McMahon family ought to give it a rest, because they're not going to get through the head honcho, which is Vince McMahon, at all. Personally, I think that this whole entire thing is, I mean, WWE is pretty much dead. If you don't believe me, go ask Vince about the MGM Grand when he goes from the Raiders Stadium to the fucking MGM Grand in less than a month away before the pay-per-view is supposed to come about. Uh, it's fucking crazy, man. I just don't understand how this man is even in business still, the way he's conducting himself. Honestly, I don't know why he is in business at all. It is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. The guy produces one of the worst television shows walking on the face of the earth, and nobody really cares about what they have to offer on these shows. So I'm not sure. Rachel Buck, she asks, did you hear Bray Wyatt might come back to WWE and not to AEW? Yes, I've heard about that. I'm not really all that surprised. I mean, AEW is pretty stacked up. I think Bray Wyatt would get kind of lost in the shuffle. And not to mention, he wouldn't be able to use the kind of content that the character that he was using in WWE. I mean, he could use a rip-off version of it, but it wouldn't feel the same. So, personally, I think his role in WWE would be the best thing for him, but the problem is, would they utilize him correctly, which they have not in all this time? So where would they go different with him? I just don't get it. I mean, they treated Cody with respect when he came back to WWE. He's been given the best matches, and with Seth Rollins, he's got another match that he's headlining for Hell in a Cell, guaranteed. There ain't no question about that. If he doesn't headline with Seth Rollins and Hell in a Cell, I don't know what the fuck we're watching here. I think Vince has really lost his fucking mind then. He's already lost it enough as it is, but he goes ahead and fucking doesn't do that. I mean, he's just a blithering idiot to not put Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes in the main event of Hell in a Cell. That's just crazy. It's the best storyline going. Rachel Buck also asks, did you hear that Big Cass is coming to WWE because his contract with Impact Wrestling is done? No, I did not hear that. I heard that his Impact Wrestling contract is done, but I did not hear anything about him going possibly back to WWE. Why he's gonna do that, I don't know. I mean, he's gonna be in a world full of he ain't gonna get the kind of treat. He's not gonna get what he was getting in Impact. He's not gonna get that full on realism. I mean, MJF, uh, MJF would be a definite change for WWE. MJF would be a benefit for WWE to have, but if they're willing to give that to Cody and they're willing to give that to MJF, why wouldn't they give that to the rest of their roster that they currently have the same capabilities of cutting just realistic promos and realistic storylines that make sense and seem more natural and so uh, you know these storylines they do in the promos they cut are just so like scripted. It's just ridiculous. Like, let them cut their own promo. That's what their job is, to sell the audience on the storyline they're trying to tell. I mean, just give them bullet points and that's it. Let them run with it. I don't understand the micromanagement of Vince McMahon anymore. I don't know why he needs to do that outside of purposely destroy and damage every person that's on this roster. It's like nobody matters. Everybody's just doing a job. This is not just a regular, ordinary job that we do, a 9 to 5 job every single day. It's not the same thing. It's very, very different. Big On says, I'm watching Raw in 1996. Well, bro, you're watching a better time in wrestling than you are right now in current day wrestling. I mean, current day wrestling is just absolutely ridiculous. Speaking of that, Big On, I'm actually been watching WCW Nitro. I've finally got into 1998, and I'm watching the WCW Thunder first episode. I got to watch that at some point during this weekend or something like that. I've been moving along quite well chronologically, so I've been watching Nitro. Honestly, I love WWE from back in the day, but sitting there and watching it from back in the day now, the way it is, I mean, it's like it's sad to even watch the old stuff because you know what how crappy this shit is now. So it really is tough for me to watch WWE from back in the day because it's like two different worlds. I don't even know why Vince has turned the show into a fucking laughing stock, but it is what it is. Big On also asks, is WWE getting better now? No. No, they're not getting better. When I start actually doing week to week reviews on Raw and SmackDown, then you know it's getting better because I'm willing to cut the dang reviews. He says I'm watching Yokozuna and Doink the Clown. You know, it's funny. That's probably better than what we've gotten on wrestling these days with WWE. Holy shit. That is ridiculous for me to even say that. But it's true, man. Yokozuna and Doink the Clown were better than what we get on TV now. That's ridiculous. It's sad for me to even say that. But yeah, two things. We're not going to be seeing Seth McMahon back in the office at any time soon. And on top of that, the Raiders Stadium has been closed off for WWE's Money in the Bank and being moved over to MGM Grand. Reason being is because their ticket sales have been absolutely horrible. They have not reached the amount of ticket sales they were looking for. And there's a good reason. People are fed up of the company. They're fed up of the product. They don't think they're worth the time to go see an event like that. So their attitude is the hell with it. I don't care to go see it. And that's all there is to it. So that's the reason why the show is being moved from the Raiders Stadium. I believe it's pronounced Angelet Stadium. But yeah, that's the point of how bad WWE has become. I've never heard of WWE having to move their fucking move their show to another place. That's ridiculous. That's a first. Big On says, did Sasha Banks leave WWE? Not technically. She's under contract, but she's not working for them at this time. So she's under contract, but she refuses to work for them because of the fact they are not treating her and Naomi with any respect. They've been suspended without pay, is what's going on from what I've heard. So pretty fucked up shit. But I gotta say, MJF, going back to that, man. Last night, Dynamite, man, was off the fucking chain. I mean, it was off the chain with MJF. Um, I gotta say, this is a half work, half reality type of situation. I think that MJF and Tony Khan have worked out their differences with this whole situation. I think MJF cooled his head off and calmed the fuck down instead of acting all pissed off and whiny about the situation. But there's some people that think that him, not showing up for the actual fan fest meet and greet thing was all part of a storyline. Now, based on what's going on, I don't think so. I don't think Tony Khan would sell an idea that they would get to meet MJF face to face and then he's not there and sell them a bogus lie. That just doesn't sound like something Tony Khan would do just to get a storyline over. I think that's retarded for anyone to think that. But I do believe that what was cut last night was definitely a legit storyline using reality with that. And WWE used to do that back in the day. One prime example is Shawn Michaels and Bret the Hitman Hart the first time around. Um, because honestly, uh, back the first time around with WWE with Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, they actually cut one of the best content going in 1996. And there was a lot of turmoil between the two and so forth. And then the second go round, there was real turmoil between those two guys in reality. So it was pretty off the walls. And this is pretty much no different. It's only dealing with an owner and an actual performer like MJF. Um, so it is pretty wild that they are managing to get this over and manage to get everything worked out. At least I think they have. I hope they did, because if MJF cut a promo like that and it was real, I think there's something wrong with Tony Khan, because under normal circumstances, they would have cut his mic off way ahead of time. They wouldn't have given him a live mic anyway. So that's just my viewpoint on that. Big On says that WWE should go back to female in their bikini holding up Raw signs like they did in the early 90s. Um, that's kind of like going backwards with the women's division, don't you think, Big On? I mean, I mean, I wouldn't be against the idea, but you're trying to paint an image that women's wrestling matters, which it should, because they are there. They're being utilized for wrestling. I mean, if you look at Brett Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Ruby Soho and Tony Storm last night, that was an awesome tag team matchup. Probably one of the best tag team matches I've seen with the women on AEW for a very long time. This was a awesome match last night. And if women like that can do a match like that, I think anybody in the women's division in WWE can do the same. I mean, hands down, it just seems like WWE's kind of flatlined. I mean, I was listening to BC Amplified for the review on SmackDown this past Friday from last week, and he said there was nothing on this show worth fucking watching. And I have to agree with him. I looked at the entire match card, and holy shit, what a fucking crap fest that was to look at. It was terrible. I wouldn't even waste 10 minutes on that show. It's fucking dreadful. So that's just pretty much that. Now, let me go over the entire. I'm going to do a quick preview and predictions on this, since there's not a whole lot of news I pulled up. I've been doing a lot of working and shit like that, so I didn't get the time to look up the news and rumors and try to, you know, save them on here. So I'm going to go ahead and just go over the Hell in a Cell, which I was originally going to do in the first place anyway. So let's go over this match card, shall we? So, let's go from the bottom to the top. We got Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and Liv Morgan versus the Judgment Day, Edge, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley in a 6-man mixed tag team match. I honestly don't know who's going to win this. I think it's going to be Judgment Day. There's a lot of prediction that Finn Balor is going to turn heel and join Judgment Day. So that might be something that takes place. So I'm going to go with Judgment Day. Finn Balor turns on AJ and Liv Morgan at the end of all this. And Rachel Buck was actually bringing that up. She said that she thinks that would be a smart idea. And if he turns into the demon, I think that that would be great for Judgment Day, honestly. It would leave a little bit of an issue with Edge, because Edge might be the back burner to Finn Balor. Finn Balor's demon might outshine Edge. Personally, that's the way I feel about it. But if they leave him as just Finn Balor, he won't outshine him, but it would be like, what's the point of him joining Judgment Day anyway? You know? So, I mean, it's something they could utilize later on in the future to get rid of Edge at a Judgment Day and have Finn Balor take over the faction completely as the demon. If they wanted to go that route, that they could do, and build that off into a WrestleMania match between Finn Balor and Edge. So that's an idea they could go about doing. Just my thoughts on that anyway. We have Bobby Lashley going up against Almost an MVP in a handicap match. Oh my God. Why isn't this shit on fucking Monday Night Raw? Like, what the hell is this shit? This is ridiculous. And there's not even a SmackDown match on here. Literally, there's no SmackDown matches on here. What the fuck is this? It's supposed to be a Raw and SmackDown show. There's only Raw matches on here. This is ridiculous. What are you gonna do? Throw last minute SmackDown matches on this pay-per-view? Like, what the fuck? Whatever, man. Absolute fucking trash, man. Absolute trash. Anyway, uh Bobby Lashley and Bobby Lashley versus Almost an MVP. I'm gonna go with Almost an MVP winning this match. I think that's probably going to be the end game of all this to finally put this rivalry to rest, hopefully. I don't know how much more they can go about doing this. It's a fucking waste of everybody's time, for goodness sakes. It's fucking ridiculous. Ezekiel versus Kevin Owens. I think Ezekiel's going to win. Kevin Owens has been a complete laughing stock in WWE. I mean, there's nothing about him right now that even remotely interesting. I mean, he's just in a fucking joked out freaking storyline with Ezekiel, trying to prove that Ezekiel is Elias and Elias is Ezekiel. It's fucking ridiculous. Freaking lie detector tests and all this bullshit that I've heard. He's also he looks like the fucking Ultimate Warrior, Ezekiel. I mean, this guy couldn't match up to the Ultimate Warrior if their lives depended on it. Anyway, I'm going to go with Ezekiel to win that match. What a fucking waste. Bianca Belair defending the Raw Women's Championship in a triple threat match against Asuka and Becky Lynch. I believe that Bianca Belair is going to win this match and pin Asuka in this. That's the only way this is going to work anyway. I mean, Becky Lynch isn't going to suffer another loss. Give me a fucking break. Then we also have Austin Theory going against Mustafa Ali for the United States Championship. I believe that Mustafa Ali will lose this match to Theory. I think Mustafa Ali at that point needs to go off television. They're doing nothing with him. They're making a laughing stock out of the dude. Might as well take him off TV if you're not going to do anything important with him. And then the main event with Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins inside the Hell in a Cell. My thoughts on this match, real simple. I think Cody Rhodes is going to win, hands down. If they're even remotely thinking about Cody versus Roman Reigns this year for a WWE or Universal Championship, Seth Rollins needs to lose this match again. Unfortunately, he's got to lose 3 matches in a row. Why they had to do 3 fucking matches, I have no idea. They couldn't have just moved on with something else, had Seth Rollins go back on a winning streak, have Cody continue to win against somebody else on Raw. Have to do the same thing 3 fucking months in a row. I mean, like, give me a break, man. I mean, he's going to win this match, and then he's going to go into Money in the Bank and win the Money in the Bank briefcase. That's what's going to happen here. It's going to be the most fucking predictable Money in the Bank I've ever seen in my fucking life. I don't think there's going to be one fucking person believable enough to actually win the Money in the Bank outside of Cody Rhodes, hands down, without question. Let me go over the comments by Big On. He had a couple of comments he stated. I just seen Triple H in a hog pig match. I believe you're talking about the 1996 Raw episode you're still watching. And then he says, I didn't know Jerry Lawler was a heel in 1993. Yeah, he was a heel his entire career. Most of his career, anyway. Especially as an announcer until like 2005, I believe. Yeah, by 2005, that's when he started being more of a face announcer, anyway. Big On says they called him Burger King. Yeah, I'd believe that. He was... That's a good way of making fun of Jerry the King Lawler. And he also asked, "What happened to Rey Mysterio? He isn't on TV anymore?" Yeah, he's still on TV. He wrestled just recently on this the Raw Go Home show for Hell in a Cell, and he was in a 6-man tag team match with him, his son, and Ezekiel versus the I believe it was the Usos. I'm not sure. Oh, no, it was Chad Gable and Otis and Kevin Owens teaming together as as partners against Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, and Ezekiel. So it was really a big fucking joke. Real load of shit. Anyway, Big On also says, okay, now I'm watching Sunny. Yeah, she was pretty hot back then. Not so much anymore, and she's got a humongous alcohol problem. She can't even drive anywhere anymore. Her fucking driver's license been revoked. As it should. CEO of Berserk, man, thank goodness you made it into here in the chat. Ray's getting beat up. Yeah, he's been beaten up pretty badly by the Indian guy that worked with Muhammad Hassan, or not Muhammad Hassan, Ginger Mahal, Muhammad Hassan. I'm going all the way back to the ruthless aggression era. I can't even talk straight right now. My mouth is so fucking dry. I should actually bring a water bottle in with me when I do this shit so I don't dry up and my mouth sticks. um, but yeah, man. Veer Mahan, that's who's been beating up Rey Mysterio, but that's actually stopped. Veer Mahan's actually been going after I'm trying to remember who the hell it was. I think it was I can't fucking remember. I think it was Mustafa Ali. Yeah, I think it was Mustafa. No, Tommaso Ciampa's been facing Mustafa Ali week after week. I have no fucking idea. I mean, let's be honest. Is Raw or SmackDown all that interesting? I mean, I know Rachel Buck likes WWE. She's a mark for it. But let's be honest. Does anyone else in the chat really give a fuck about WWE in today's modern day of wrestling? I mean, it's absolute joke. That's the reason why pro wrestling is turned into absolute crap. It's fucking shit nowadays. Big on saying the $1 million man, Ted DiBiase. Is that Stone Cold in green trunks? I don't know. I'm not watching the show. I'd imagine he probably did wear green trunks when he first came in. You're probably watching when they called him the ringmaster. If that's the case, he probably has a bald head with a mustache, and that's about it. And they're calling him the ringmaster at that point in time. So, yeah, pretty much all I do remember. I remember him more as Stone Cold Steve Austin with the black trunks and the bald head and the goatee. But yeah. Um so I mean, I don't know, man. If you guys want to continue to talk with me, I got not that much news for today's show. I had a very busy week. I've been falling behind on work. So I had to bust my hump for the last couple of days to keep up with my numbers. So I didn't have a chance to look up stories and check that shit out with you guys. If you guys want to keep chatting away with me, I'll be more than happy to stay here for the full on hour like we normally do. Otherwise, I'm going to cut this stream off short. But yeah, I mean, I can go ahead and look for other WWE news while we're sitting here. Give me one sec. If you guys want to leave any comments in the chat, go right ahead. I'll be more than happy to answer them and read them right off the chat. But give me one moment while I look for another story to talk about. All right. Theory talks Hell in a Cell feud and a wild John Cena Bond becoming WWE's next star. What the fuck? All right. Trying to find the information that says something about him. Fuck it. See, this is what random wrestling talk's all about. Just trying to figure out shit at the last minute, right? Oh man, this is a not really all that great of a show. I've been all that happy so far. Nobody's really saying much of anything right now. Jeff Hardy explains how WWE slapped him in the face before he walked out. This is a good one. Let me read this to you guys. So Jeff Hardy explains how WWE slapped him in the face before he walked out. Jeff Hardy's exit from WWE late last year, stemmed from a bizarre incident where he displayed erratic behavior at a house show. Jeff essentially walked out of WWE during a match and was released a few days later. Jeff has since explained his thought process behind the smartest thing he's ever done. He said despite being very popular with live fans in WWE, there were times he felt like a ghost roaming the walls, questioning his importance to WWE. No shit. um. So, in a new interview on Chris Jericho's Talk is Jericho podcast, Jeff discussed one specific insulting decision made by WWE Creative during his final run there. There was 1 week on Raw where he was dumped off into the 24/7 title scene. It was perplexing to see Jeff running around with irrelevant jobbers like Jackson Riker. Jeff addressed the segment later that week and sounded cool with the whole thing, but that's not how he really felt about it. Oh shit. No wonder why he did what he did. So, here are Jeff and his brother Matt explaining to Jericho how it feels to be one of the 24/7 jobbers. Jeff says, I feel bad about saying this because I'm so easy to work with. I do pretty much whatever, but I was pretty crushed that day. I was like, okay, this is it. I don't know why I'm here. They're doing they're really doing this to me, and that's not an arrogant thing to say. I felt ashamed and like I shouldn't be doing that. But I did it, and I was like, "Man, what does this mean?" And Matt went on to say, I did one of those too one time before I left. I was running down a hall chasing someone, R-Truth or somebody, and he said, you know how those people are viewed. For them to put you in that category is just like, come on, man." So they were both feeling very insulted by WWE. I mean, Matt Hardy, of all people, showed up for a match that lasted, I don't know, 2 minutes, and he was buried in that match. He didn't do a fucking thing on television for about, I think it was against Shelton Benjamin, I believe it was, during the Hurt Business. I'm not sure. But, I mean, the guy went ahead and he came out of nowhere. I think it was off television for like almost 9 weeks. Vince called him in to do a match, and it lasted 2 minutes. Came out of nowhere, had to travel all the way over to where they were doing the show, and his wife was pissed at Vince for what he did. He was like, she was like, why are you making my husband come out there for a meaningless match, for a 2 minute match for him to job out for you? You couldn't get somebody else to do that after you've kept him off television for weeks at a time? I mean, I agree with his wife. I think that's fucking bullshit. But hey, it is what it is, you know? CEO of Berserk says John Cena is hinting at him versus Theory soon. Yeah, I've heard about that. I heard that Rachel Buck says um that they are going to do a United States Championship match possibly at SummerSlam, which I would be fine with that match. That match would be pretty good, and it would help Austin Theory out in the long run because Austin Theory needs a legitimate opponent. I mean, Mustafa Ali, come on, man, that's bullshit. Mustafa Ali has not been utilized correctly to even be a legitimate opponent for Theory. That's the problem with this company. They can't even make jobbers seem all that important anyway. It's that fucking pathetic, man. Shit. Ellemester says, bruh, MJF is going to become a monster. Bro, I talked about that in the early portion of the show, man. And I got to tell you, you're 100% right, man. He is going to be the face of pro wrestling. Forget about the face of AEW. He will be the face of pro wrestling altogether. Whether he stays in AEW or he leaves AEW for WWE, this guy is going to bring so much attention to himself wherever he goes. So if WWE happens to get him and they utilize him in the same manner AEW is utilizing him now, folks, WWE will turn their fucking shit show around a little bit. And that is pretty fucking crazy. Ella Mesters asks, could he become a Stone Cold 2.0? No, he's not going to ever be Stone Cold Steve Austin. This guy is a full-blown heel. And I see him. I mean, he's doing the role of Stone Cold Steve Austin with the owner, Tony Khan. Tony Khan being in the role of Vincent McMahon. Only the characters are in reverse, being the owner's the face and the wrestler is the heel. So that's the difference between Stone Cold Steve Austin, Vince McMahon, and MJF and Tony Khan. That's a huge difference. I don't think that kind of storyline is going to last for a very long time because Tony Khan really is not interested in being on live television because he could have done that last night. And unfortunately, he didn't. So I truly think that might be something that's a short-term thing between Tony Khan and MJF. And we are going to see him at another date. But LMSR, I believe that MJF is going to be one hell of a fucking monster in pro wrestling. And like I said, either in AEW or WWE, it don't fucking matter, man. This guy is a beast. I mean, he didn't drop a bombshell last night, LMSR. He dropped a fucking atomic bomb. I mean, and JD from New York 206 even said that from last night's episode. He said he dropped a fucking A bomb. He didn't drop a pipe bomb, man. Shit. Big On states that is Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant match better than anything in WWE right now? Obviously, yeah. That was one of the better 80s storyline you'll ever get from pro wrestling in WWE anyway. Big On says, I don't think the Big Show wrestles anymore. No, he don't. He's a announcer for AEW Dark. At least that's what I think he's still doing. Mester says, honestly, he's staying in AEW. If we learned anything, his nuke proved that this is a work. He's staying in AEW 100%. Hey, honestly, I don't know what is real and what's storyline anymore at this point, at least when it comes to MJF. They've completely blurred the lines between realism and fucking and storyline or work shows, work storyline or whatever you want to say. But damn, man, this is fucking ridiculous. I mean, literally, I can't. LMS says this is a work. I mean, yeah, it's a work, but it's also a blur between reality and being a work at the same time. That's what I'm trying to say. I think that these two guys worked out their differences, and now we're getting just a full-blown work with reality mixed in with the whole situation that took place. So that's what I think might be going on. Then again, you don't know that either. I mean, I don't know. I really don't. I don't, but I'm leaning more towards the rest of this is just a work that's being played on TV. The other stuff that we heard behind the scenes was real and has just been resolved at this point. Big On says, I tried watching Raw in 2014, but it got boring outside of Randy Orton and the Authority and the Shield and John Cena. Yeah, that's pretty much true. I mean, a lot of the matches that took place on those shows for 2014, if it wasn't about John Cena and Brock Lesnar or John Cena and Seth Rollins or the power ship between Randy Orton and Seth Rollins for the leadership of Authority along with Triple H, Um, and the return of Sting in 2014 Survivor Series and so forth. It was really not all that much to sink your teeth into. I mean, John Moxley was good. I mean, his thing with Seth Rollins was great. Roman Reigns was doing okay until that hernia injury that he suffered. That's why he was gone for almost the entire rest of the year until late December. Um, but then they just thrusted him right into the whole WrestleMania main event picture, which made no sense to me at all, which everybody else did not like either. Um, so I don't know, man. I think 2014 wasn't a bad year, but it wasn't that great either. It was like right in between. The Elemester says AEW will give him a lucrative contract, and this push is going to lead him to the AEW World title. Yeah, obviously that is the case. I mean, he also stated in his promo, I'm the best in the world. If that ain't, voicing towards CM Punk, I don't know what is. Not to mention, after they went on break, they had CM Punk try to chase MJF out of the ring and out of the arena, actually, to get him off the show completely when they got back on the air. So MJF and CM Punk will end this whole entire situation by all out of this year easily. Big On says I was waiting to see Sasha Banks' main roster debut. Uh, I have no idea what you're talking about. Made the she made her main roster debut. Are you talking about the whole lead up to when she did that on Peacock? Because if that's what you're talking about, then yeah, you got a long way to go. That's by like mid 2015. So you want to keep going all the way through that, you got a lot of hours to make up, pal. If you're in 2014. But yeah, stick with 1996. At least then they were very short episodes. You don't have to spend so much time watching them all in such large doses, but whatever. Elemester says, to be honest, I was wondering if this would become a MJF face turn. No, I don't believe there's going to be a face turn by MJF. He is staying heel for a very long time. MJF is basically Triple H of AEW. This guy is going to be a Triple H of AEW, hands down. I mean, this guy cuts way better promos than Triple H ever did. Triple H was a better wrestler than MJF, but MJF can still tell a very good story in the ring. He's a good technician wrestler. He's not terrible in the ring. And that is one of the funniest things. He actually cut a promo about that, saying that us, the fans, are assholes because he doesn't drop people on their heads like all these idiots that want to see that kind of stuff. He's not a New Japan strong style wrestler. He's not interested in doing flips and dives and trying to entertain people by killing himself and doing all that crap. He's interested in just doing the old fashioned style of wrestling like FTR does. They don't do flips and dives. They just use fists and wrestling moves. And that's basically it. Elemester, did you actually call this an atomic bomb? Yes, I did. I called that an atomic bomb when I cut when I did the not the live stream, the review last night for AEW Dynamite. Before I even watched JD from New York 206, I always do my own reviews before I watch his stuff because I don't want his ideas kind of like going, well, yeah, he did sound exactly like him, which sometimes I do without even watching his show before I do my reviews. But yeah, JD from New York 206 cuts some really good reviews. He speaks the truth and he's factual on a lot of stuff he's speaking about, as well as BC Amplified. If you guys haven't watched his show, he's very good at his own shit. But truthfully, man, yeah, that's what I called that promo a fucking atomic bomb because that's what it was. There was no fucking pipe bomb. Pipe bombs, yeah, pipe bombs are effective and very strong, but shit, what he cut was far more than just some regular ordinary pipe bomb like CM Punk from 2011 in Las Vegas. Big On says, I'm watching The Undertaker versus Isaac Yakim. Okay. And The Undertaker is in a mask. Oh, shit. Yeah. You're watching some. Oh, yeah. That's when Kane was. This was before Kane became Kane. He was playing a dentist. Yeah. I remember that. I used to like that character actually when I was a kid. He used to play this evil villain type dentist going, I'm gonna like I think he did some shit about cutting people's teeth out of their mouth and fucking shit like that. That's fucking crazy. Um, but yeah, if they wanted to turn Britt Baker into a major villain, like a horror type like character, and play into the fact that she's a professional dentist, that would be pretty fucking cool, actually. I would love to see that. That would be pretty neat. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys at this time. I know this is a very short episode. Not a whole lot of people came in today. Um and there's not a whole lot of chat going on. So at this point, I'm going to cut it short. I apologize. If you guys want to leave any more comments before I hang this up, by all means, I'll give you a few moments. Uh, you can go ahead and leave a comment. Otherwise, I'm going to be heading on out. Want to go watch this NBA Finals game. So, you guys have any comments you'd like to say for me to, or questions you'd like me to read off and answer? I'll be more than happy to do that. Otherwise, I'm hanging up the stream at this time. Big On says do a live watch party. Yeah, I'm planning on possibly doing that at some point. On WWE shows. You really want to torture me, don't you, Big On? Fuck, man. I was thinking about doing a live WWE live stream of this, giving you like in 1996. I don't know about that. I mean, come on. I'm not going to do a live retro review on in the Attitude Era and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, you'd be doing me a favor. I mean, you wouldn't have me being tortured to death. I'd appreciate that. But I mean, if I'm going to do a live stream, I'm going to do a live stream about today's modern day wrestling. I'm not going to do something that I already know what's going to happen before it happens type of thing. I mean, I used to do retro reviews of WWE Raw and SmackDown and WCW Nitro, but honestly, I didn't see a whole lot of value coming out of it. So I don't know. But yeah, maybe doing a live watch along type of a live stream of a watch along at some point. Big On, been thinking about it. So definitely am gonna look into doing that at some point with you guys. Uh Probably more than likely for a AEW pay-per-view. I don't know if it's going to be for the Forbidden Door. It might be, it might not. I'm not sure. Um I'm going to have to situate myself in a certain way to do this live stream because my TV's on that side of the room and I'm sitting right here staring at you guys. So I'd have to turn my body completely over here to stare at the screen. So I'd look a little odd not being able to stare at you guys directly. So I don't know. Big On says, I don't know why JD from New York 206 doesn't do live watch alongs. I think I know why. He does very professional reviews. So I don't think he'd be able to do that and be able to talk to us at the same time about what's going on and all that. I think it would benefit him a lot, especially for the AEW pay-per-views. I mean, those fuckers go 4 or 5 hours. So I mean, him doing a live watch along will definitely save him a lot of trouble of having to go after the show being over, him having to go ahead and literally sit there and talk for an extra 3 hours. Yeah, folks, he spent another 3 hours doing his own fucking review on that shit. And man, did he spend a fucking long time doing that. And then he also had to do the super chats and all that shit. So that was what took place on that review. But damn, he spent 3 hours doing that. Uh this Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, he ain't gonna have that kind of trouble. He's probably gonna get through that in like 2 hours and 20 minutes or something like that. I don't see him doing any more than that. There's only 6 matches on this fucking card. Can you believe that? For Hell in a Cell? Oh my gosh. But anyway, guys, I'm going to head on out. I'm going to go watch the rest of the NBA Finals that's taking place. I appreciate you guys for coming in, having the conversations with me. Appreciate all you guys. Hit the like button if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. I thank you guys very much for watching. Before I go, though, Big On did have one more comment. Someone said there's no point in watching WWE without Sasha Banks in it. Not entirely true, but for the women's division, yeah, absolutely. I don't see any point in following WWE's women's division without Sasha Banks. She is like almost the heart and soul of that fucking women's division at the end of the day. So anyway, guys, appreciate you watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If so, hit the like button. You know the rest. Thank you guys very much for watching again. And I'll speak to you again soon and see you at another time. Bye, guys.